Good evening and welcome to the On Air Daily News Hour. I'm Naima Latif, and we are pleased to be able to bring you every second, third, and fourth Wednesday evening a look at the news. This is a critical thing because in these times it's important who you're getting your news from. It's important that you understand that everybody who is out here speaking isn't always having your best interest at heart. And so, what we are doing every second, third, and fourth Wednesday of the month is sharing with you information about the world we live in from our news affiliates from across the country and around the world. We are part of the On Air Global Media Network. And this is a network of conscious content creators, people who are willing to use their platform to give you an alternative view of reality. Because if you listen to what you hear every day, you will be distressed just based on the fact that it would appear that the world has gone crazy. And you can just as easily lapse into fear because you're believing that you don't have any choices. So, On Air, which stands for the Online Network of Associated Internet Radio Hosts, involves many who are a part of the communications network of conscious people who are giving you another view of what is happening in the world. While there is war, there is also a movement for peace, even in the areas where we're believing peace is an impossibility. But we need to hear from those who are actually making it happen. And those conscious podcasters that are putting out messages all throughout the world on the airwaves, on the internet, on that system that allows us to talk to each other wherever we are, simply by using a device in our hands. It's that powerful. And of course, there are TV channels. YouTube itself is a TV channel that broadcasts, and internet TV has allowed people to create TV programs from their cell phone, from their computer device, and they are able to reach millions. And so the impact is that there are choices that you can make as to who is going to influence your thought. And we have the On Air magazine, which features interviews with people you need to know and people who are making a positive difference in the world with the programs they're doing, entertainment, sports, all kinds of things that enhance our culture. And there are many who are called to give a special message. And we recommend these internet channels, YouTube channels, podcasters, Facebook pages, websites of these content creators who are truly transforming the world. They are the global transformers that are bringing you hidden knowledge and information that can change your perspective and empower you. So, of course, if you are one of those conscious content creators, you can join the online network of associated internet radio and TV show hosts so that you can be a part of the transformation of the world we live in. We're changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. And these are some of our on air media affiliates, people who, with their publications, their television shows, their podcasts, their magazines, they are helping to enlighten, inform, and empower, and even entertain. But the important thing is that they give you an alternative voice, because everybody who's speaking doesn't necessarily know what they're talking about or intend your best interests. And so we invite you to join us, and we invite you to listen to these voices and watch these programs and hear a different perspective on reality, because the world is transforming. So today we're going to hear from the Shot News and our own dear brother, Gary Hunter, as he presents some of the latest news. He was on the spot to cover a very momentous occasion, which the world watched, as the illustrious Reverend Jesse Jackson made his transition and encouraged with his life so many transformations of life. And people came from literally all around the world to pay tribute. Gary Hunter is one who travels and finds the news and reports the news. And as a global correspondent, White House photographer, and one who is on the grounds talking to the people, capturing those moments in history, he's bringing us his perspective today and taking a look at what it takes to really be for the people when you are in this media business. So we want you to stay close as we bring you our interview with Gary Hunter and the Shot News. But first, we're going to greet our global family who's watching from all around the world. And then we'll be back with words from the Shot News, one of the on-air media affiliates that we'll be bringing to you periodically with insight and information. And we want you to stay informed. So stay with us as we bring you Gary Hunter of the Shot News. And we will be right back after this quick break. So as always, we say stick and stay, don't stray away. We'll be back with the on-air daily news hour for an hour of news that you can use. And we certainly do hope that you continue to listen to the conscious content creators who are telling you what you need to know. We'll be right back. So stay with us.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom.
In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you. Yes, we do want to talk to you, and we want you to talk to us too. And right now we are talking to Reverend reporter, photographer, international correspondent Gary Hunter with the Shot News. And he's been all across Chicago and South Carolina and Detroit and all across the world. Of course, DC, a regular correspondent at the White House, and covering that news that helps us to get a real vision of what is happening in our midst. So we did have some changes in direction in the Illinois primary yesterday, and actually for many people they felt it was time for a change, and the retiring of some people paved the way for others to perhaps get their chance at the political landscape, which is always an opportunity to hear a different voice and to hear what the perhaps younger generation, or at least younger than what was there, may have to say. Now, for the Illinois race, and that opened up an opportunity. A lot of people didn't know what might have happened. The two Black women running and a male. But however, Juliana Stratton, who is the former lieutenant governor, she was victorious in that Senate race. So now she will face the Republican candidate in the November primary. And LaShawn Ford run in Danny K. Davis's old seat that he, of course, retired from in the 7th Congressional District. And, you know, Danny Davis was one of the old guard that had been there a while, and we love him. He did some great things. And so I'm glad that there was a peaceful passing of the baton on to the next representative. Donna Miller ran in the 2nd Congressional District. There were 10 people running the seat that was vacated by the former Congressman Robin Kelly. And since she didn't win as the Senate representative, of course, she is now, I guess, out of a job. But Donna Miller ran against 10 other candidates who, among them was Jesse Jackson Jr., you know, favored as a possible win, but she apparently ran a tough campaign and was victorious. So a lot of people were not sure how that was going to, how the funeral of Reverend Jackson was going to impact the congressional race with former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. His brother, of course, was uncontested. But as we look at the decisions that people made, how do you see, or what do you see as a statement being made in those races, and whether people feel like, the Jackson family represents a continuation of leadership, or maybe they're not sure based on their knowledge and understanding and appreciation of history?
It's a real touchy, almost scary, eerie feeling to think that you would praise a family 1 week and the next week totally reject them. And I don't want to call it rejection. It's just they didn't assume that we're really hard on Black men's redemption.
Mm-hmm.
We get paid off of it. We win races off of it. It determines legislation. But when it comes to actually doing it, the same people that want you to give their son all kind of leeway when they get in trouble, they're not willing to give someone else's son. As much as I travel with the congressional, the picture that you're showing now is some of the congressional members' letters that's going in the paper that's coming out this week. I understand that we have a long way to go when it comes to being in touch as either party. It is not the redemption for us to go off into what we call being an independent. It really needs to be a withdrawal. I don't want to hear who died for voting. I don't want to see how far we've been fighting for voting. Don't tell me because of what they're doing to keep us from voting, it must be important. Show me that voting matters to you for me. President, senator, congressperson, state senator, state rep, governor, show me in your actions that the vote means any or something to you for me. Don't tell me people died and my groceries is still high. Don't tell me people died and I still can't get access to true employment. Don't tell me people died and you got special groups getting free computers and other folk are sacrificing their whole life to get a childless computer. Don't tell me how important voting is. If Black vendors after election is still begging for their money to be paid for work they did, but white folks spent $14 billion. No, $15.9 billion. They use it now as an income sharing. $15.9 billion. But only our community has to fight for inclusion. But you tell me how important the vote is, it don't make sense.
Right. How's it translating into actions that change things?
But let me bring something to your memory. We all heard the Lieutenant Governor speak at the inauguration. I told you, John, and a sister that passed.
Who was that? Parthenia?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I said, y'all, she gonna be somebody.
Mm.
When she got through telling the story about her mother, her grandmother, and aunties.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember now?
Yes, she did. She did. Yes.
I say she won't be. I say this is just a step.
Yep. Yep. She had She had a vision of where she was going. She did. And she understood the significance because she knew where she'd come from. Yes.
Her whole speech was about where she came from, not where she was.
That's right.
It was about the platform that they built for her, not what she built for herself.
Mm. Well, that matters when a candidate is building on what they know came before them. Then they have a stronger drive because they understand the significance of where they are and what they must do. Some of the people that, from my perspective, they get into politics and it just becomes a career government job. And it's not a real commitment to change things for the people. And it's not a real commitment to transform the nation from what it was to what it must become. So I had to really look at the background of people, and I tended to favor somebody who came from an activist background as opposed to maybe somebody who came more from a, I don't know, corporate background or whatever, where they didn't really struggle, because I don't know if they would have the appreciation of what a government position means for us as a people. Sometimes they don't.
All I know is, as lieutenant governor, she never lost touch. Everywhere I saw her, she recognized me. She took time for me. And she definitely made it personal. Even last Saturday, she stopped. I said, "Where's your husband?" And he was like a couple of feet behind her. And I made them get together so I could get a picture of the two of them. That's what people can appreciate. That's what people can love on. That's what people can respect. That's what people can fester to, support, and vote for. And we no longer can be in a spot, forget the people who we serve in that spot, and people rewarded.
Yes.
It's a new kind of reward system now.
Mm.
Show me what you're going to do for me.
Right.
Make me believe what you're going to do for me. I know what you're going to do for you.
Right. Yes. And they enjoy a lot of perks too, of course. And that's why some people run. They run for the perks. They run for the importance and all of that and the pomp and circumstance. But what are you really going to do for the people? We're going to take another quick break. But when we come back, let's talk about what you see as you've traveled around the country. What are some of the common pressing issues that the common people have that they're hoping the elected officials will address and alleviate? So stay close. We will be right back. We're talking to Gary Hunter, who is publisher of The Shot News. And we're going to give you a shot to tell your story. You can give us a call, 727-731-5192, because we want to hear from you. But of course, you can add your comments to the screen. We'll bring up a couple of comments when we come back. So
say that number again, just a little slower.
Oh, yeah, it's on the screen, but I'll say it again slower. 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you. All right. And we'll be right back. So stay with us.
Welcome to Masterforce with Mushim Suit. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page. As we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force, our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
And we are back. We are talking to Gary Hunter, publisher of the Shot News out of Detroit, but worldwide, as he travels and gives us a perspective of what is happening all around the world. And he's been traveling with the great caravan of people that were, of course, all involved in the homegoing ceremonies for Reverend Jesse Jackson. We've got a comment here from our own Deborah of Move Around with Deborah. Says, Grand Rising, traveling through the eyes of others. Yes, that is definitely a way to travel, to see the world through the eyes of others. And the Shot News brings us the world through the eyes of Gary Hunter. And we are seeing a lot of the changing of the guard, I guess, around the nation as different states hold their primary elections. But people are hoping for something different. They're distressed about what we've been going through for these last few years and few months, and distressed about what may be up and coming. But what do you see as a common theme as you talk to people and see people in various cities where you've covered news? What seems to be the main thing that people are distressed about? Is it economics? Is it the war? Is it personal issues where they feel like they're maybe not getting access to health benefits? What are some of the things that you have seen are the distressing things that people hope these elected officials will do something about?
I think the main thing is, can we be looked at as human? And it sounds like something that is so far-fetched, but just think about this for a minute. My job is in jeopardy. My car is in jeopardy. My groceries are in jeopardy. My cost of living is in jeopardy. And all you have to tell me is that we just need to vote. But between the voting and the next vote and the next vote, we barely see you. You have no impact on what we're going through. And you don't even educate us on what you're fighting for that we could give you credit for. You're so far away from the people that you forget you represent the people. I never forget when I traveled with the DNC chair, Ohio, Kentucky, Georgia. We went to cities and to barbershops in small gatherings, some large gatherings. It was the same thing in every Black community. Stop sending these white people in here that you paying all this money and you want black folk to continue to be slaves and volunteer.
Ooh, that, that's a real sore spot, and we see that a lot when, and elected officials have budgets to pay for professional services. That's a real sore spot when they get ready to pay professional people for the various services that they use. And then they come to our community and ask people to volunteer, knowing they're already economically distressed. That definitely is a real slap in the face. And I hear that complaint a lot. Like,
We heard that
respect for what we do. You want us to do it for nothing.
Nationwide, from Detroit to Atlanta to Columbus to Cincinnati to outside of Baltimore. I'm just thinking of some of the places where the black men just stood up, the black women just stood up and said, look, you're giving one company, just in Savannah, Georgia, state rep said, you gave this white man $50 million, $56 million, I'll never forget it, to go get the black vote. He said, you could have gave me $5 million, I would have gave you more black votes than him. Even black folks don't want to pay black folks. I go all over this country. And people tell me, man, you bring it right back to us. I do. You look at that paper. If you wasn't at the Capitol, your mind can see exactly where the Capitol was.
Oh, yes.
When you look at the inside, you'll see everything in that room. When you look at the mayor's reception, you'll see exactly some of the key players. But then yet when it comes to time to pay for advertising, they put me on the same scale as somebody that don't work.
Well, what's interesting, especially when it comes to how you get people to trust you. A lot of the people running for office, they think they can just kind of throw out some flyers and not personally reach people, not advertise in the very media that they're hoping to endorse them. And they just assume, and it's unfortunate that Black candidates will assume, well, you should just vote for me because I'm Black, but I'm going to pay the other people, and not realizing you gotta win my vote too, because your color doesn't mean that you think like me. I need to hear something from you, and then you do need to spend some money with those people that you're saying you're running to empower. Well, empower them now with the dollars that you're spending, and those things matter. So I think it's time that we talk economics to those who we've put in positions of authority, because they are going to be making policies and laws that govern the circulation of money, and they need to make sure it circulates to our community, not in the form of the whole welfare thing, pay you to not work, but respect the professionals that have the same skills that you're paying people to provide for you. Find people in your community that you expect to vote for you and hire them, contract with them. Don't keep asking the people in your community that you already know are economically distressed to come and volunteer for you. And then when you get elected or you get a budget, then you pay someone outside the community who's only there because they're getting paid, knowing that we're there because we sincerely are believing in you and believing that you say you're going to help the people that you represent. So we've experienced a lot of betrayal in the past, which is, do you think that could be why some people just stop voting? Like you say vote for me, but then nothing changes. Do you think that that experience of betrayal is what has maybe soured people on the political system? What are your thoughts on that?
I look at the reception that the mayor had. Perfect opportunity for a Black vendor that he used strategic planning. Twyla, who did all Operation Pushes and Rainbow Coalition's convention. It was beautiful. It was appropriate. You go in these places and they got the wrong food for us. Compared to the wrong vendor. You go pick some white company who don't know Black food, and you think all we eat is wings and egg rolls. We eat it because you had us in a program all day, and that's all you gave us.
That's the real thing. The cultural things when it comes to planning, and I must say, all of the events that were surrounding Reverend Jackson's homegoing, I'm grateful that they were sensitive. The media team was excellent, and really knowing that it was going to be an expansive operation. People were going to be coming from all over the world, and they were going to have just overwhelming desires for an outpouring of love from everywhere, and then they had to make room for everybody. And then you got a Stevie Wonder coming in that's going to perform. So they really handled it well. And as you say, you gotta have people who know our culture, who know how we are, who know how we express emotion and all of that. You have to have people who are sensitive to our culture when it comes to planning events. Of course, Twyla, she's very, very astute, and all of those. Mary Datcher, very, very astute when it comes to understanding the nuance of our culture. Yes. So I appreciate the fact that the people who understand us were in charge of those proceedings, because
well,
I'm not saying people who are Caucasian can't do things, but everything is an understanding of culture, and you have to understand the subtle things that affect us. And sometimes those are not things you can readily explain, but when you just know. So it is important, and that's why when we elect someone, we want them.
Take an all-Black team into an all-white neighborhood. Why do you keep bringing an all-white team into a Black neighborhood?
That's true. It's definitely. I mean, other people understand. They gotta select people who know their culture.
Food restaurant.
Yeah, tilt down a little bit, Gary, because I don't want your chin to disappear. Tilt your camera down a little bit. There you go. Yeah, we don't want to have your face disappear in the title there. But yes,
you wouldn't have a soul food restaurant serving pork chops at a Jewish function.
That's true. I mean, it's a little thing, but it's a big thing, because you have to
Stop
know.
Bringing me sushi.
That would be offensive.
Stop bringing me sushi. Because it's all food Black.
That's a real thing. It's a real thing. The little subtle things that you need to know culturally when doing things, because it does matter. So now we're
they know, they just don't care.
Sometimes that's the case too. Just not it feels like they don't care. We're going to take one last break, but when we come back, I want to take a look at how things may change when people of a different generation are in charge. Do they do things differently? How has social media affected the whole media landscape, communications and everything else? Because young people do things kind of differently. And so how do we adjust to that? So we'll talk about that when we come back. And if you are watching and wish to comment, feel free to leave your comment on the screen, or you can give us a call, 727-731-5192. Let me say it real slow, 727-731-5192, because we do want to hear from you. And we will be right back with Gary Hunter and the Shot News right after this. So stay with us.
Leaders of nonprofits empowering worlds. Let's go.
But the vision that God gave me, I felt that it was time for me to step out and work on the vision that God gave me.
We need look no further. We have a unique voice. We have a unique talent pool.
Peace and love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free.
Yes. Help ensure our young people stay free. Now, that's the thing. You know, we talk about this all the time, the changing in the culture because of the younger generation and how they've been influenced by social media, how their communication is different, and how that's affecting even the whole industry when it comes to how people get their information. So what do you see as some of the changes happening, particularly as a publisher, somebody who's on the grounds with a publication that you can see and feel and hold in your hands and document and all of those things? But so much of the information the young people get, they look at a tweet or an Instagram post, and one false, what they talk about, fake news. It's sometimes things created by AI is not even real, and they will believe that and be influenced by that because they don't have any powers of discernment a lot of times. How do you think the new ways of communicating and the extreme influence of social media is having on how we impart real news and real information? Can people even tell the difference between real news and fake news anymore? What have you observed as far as how that's affecting the way people perceive reality?
I look at our state politics. We have one Black governor, two Black lieutenant governors. Now we have one Black lieutenant governor. I don't know if JB is going to choose another Black. He's almost forced to choose another Black because it'll look like betrayal to not choose another Black. And this will be a unique chance for us to see his trueness, because if he chooses somebody white, that will globally impact him in the possibility of running for president. I know most people ain't thinking about that, but just think about that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be positioning himself to consider a presidential run, and I'm sure there are, backroom discussions about it. And because he is wealthy, he's somebody who people feel like could stand up to Trump and his money and all that. So, people have talked about that.
So to answer your question, we've been hoodwinked in a lot of ways that the young folk are not appreciative of, neither do they respect, neither do they understand. So what we say is detrimental to the hearing of what they're seeing. And a friend of mine who was married to a famous singer, I ain't gonna name him, she used to tell her husband, "You gonna believe your lying eyes or me?" And mind you, yeah, right. You'll catch that in a minute.
Well, you know, that's one of the things we do look at. Are people going to be sincere? And it is going to matter. Are we going to see
Well, we're in the stage
black
now where
people
we
continue
want
to be empowered?
We want people to believe what they're saying, but what we're seeing is, if you want to change what I do, if I vote, if I participate, engage me in what you're doing that is to all of our benefit. Engage me. The problem is we get a core group that support sometimes our foolishness, and we don't go outside that circle. And by not going outside that circle, it ain't the vote that they're going to miss. It's the participation and the vote. So Illinois chose this morning or yesterday to go outside of what they were seeing so they could see something different. Absolutely. And hope that they will believe something different.
Hoping to believe something different. You know, I have been seeing a lot of young people involved in the various protests. The one that was the commemoration of the Bloody Sunday in Selma. I saw a lot of young people that were participating in that, as well as some of the older traditional civil rights workers. But, you know, even with the ICE protests and all of that, and there's a lot of fear surrounding both ICE as well as the immigrants. And so there are a lot of people who participated, and
but how many people running for office haven't been to Bloody Sunday?
Now
How
that's
you
the
gonna
question.
tell me to vote? And you have not been to the epic center, ground zero of how we got the right to vote.
And that's the significant thing, because that is the core of how we got the right to vote. If you don't know that history, that people got beaten nearly to death, and some got beat to death, and some died. But if you don't know that story, that's what led to the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which empowered so many people to even run for office and win, especially throughout the South. If we don't know that history, then we just think they're running for a government job.
I had a white woman running for Congress who had never been, but she was using John Lewis as her platform. She went the next year as the Congresswoman. She walked up to me. She said, "Gary," she had read a book. And in reading that book, you know, it tells the story of John Lewis and how they got beaten on it. She couldn't believe it. Why are you using John Lewis or Obama?
And you know, I've seen people do that. And there were a lot of whites that were part of the civil rights struggle, but there were those who were not, and yet they will invoke the names of those who were when they campaign, and you just assume, oh, they must have been part of it. But a lot of them weren't. A lot of them, like you said, they read it in a book, and then they know the words to say and the names to throw out there, so that the voters that they want to attract will believe they were part of that civil rights movement. And some of them were not at all. Some of them grew up, you know, privileged, separated, not suffering at all. But when they're running to represent a diverse population, they know the things to say to win our trust. So, I mean, is that betrayal? Is that deception? What do you think? Should we challenge people to say, wait a minute, where were you at? How many bloody Sunday marches have you been in? Or how many activities are you involved in now as a community organizer or whatever platform you're running from? I mean, I tend to think that, and a lot of times people go into government after maybe having a career as a lawyer because they feel like, okay, this is a lawmaking position. I need to have a law degree, and that's fine. But our tradition tends to be more of an activist as opposed to a legal expert because we need you to understand.
I'm participating because I'm engaged in one way or another is where we get involved.
Yes.
Or either we're with people that need somebody to run that can set the platform that looks good.
Yeah.
Which may be dangerous because they don't understand all Black people are not Black.
That's kind of true. I mean, the thinking, you don't know how a person thinks.
People that work for the governor here that have Black faces, but they don't want to be around Blacks.
Well, definitely we need to take a look at those that we have just elected and hold them to some standards. Well, we are out of time. We've got to go. But one last thing, what would you advise for people who are perhaps considering a career in politics? What things should they do that would help the community know that they are sincere?
First of all, engage and know your community. That's number one. Never to get outside of your community to learn your community. The Black Caucus every year gives you full scope of what we're fighting for on a global for us. Bloody Sunday every first weekend in March gives you a broad scope of some of the things we've gone through. I would say the NAACP convention, but they are so lost. You need to go to the Urban League convention so you know the understanding, hear me good, of the economic and jobs part of our community. You need to go to the Black MBA convention to see and understand the rise of the education part of our community. If you are permitted, you need to go to some of these social national conventions. Whether it be, and I don't want to start naming none, whether it be the AKAs or Deltas or the Sigmas or the dogs or whatever.
Sororities, the Omega Psi Phi. Some of these fraternities and sororities, because these are all these national organizations.
There's another engagement part of the community. Every one of these fractions become another part of our community.
Yes, and they need to know them. They need to understand
the unions. Even though the unions have hijacked the civil rights of elections. You used to have Black folk, including through Jesse Jackson, through Urban League, through SCLC. You cannot leave out the part you're not a part of. Because if you want to be for the people, you gotta understand people that are not your direct people.
You have to understand. Well said. And hopefully those who run will take that advice, and those who we have nominated to represent the party, whichever party you.
Let's not leave this part out. You need to be in the Shot News.
Be in the
only
Shot
black
News.
paper that's in 11 states.
Well, all
in
right.
every major black community across this country.
So now, how do they reach you in the Shot News? Give us a website, phone number, address, email. What's the best way to reach out and get their copy of the Shot News so they can?
My
make sure they
email is DetroitTimesMedia@gmail.com.
DetroitTimesMedia@gmail.com. Is that
My
correct?
phone, DetroitTimesMedia@gmail.com.
All right, that is DetroitTimesMedia@gmail.com.
My phone number is 313-442-6111. 313-442 6111.
6111. Well, all righty then. Here we are. Well, you heard it right here on the Female Solution, and you see it right here on the screen. So there we are. Contact Gary Hunter with the Shot News, and you can make sure you get a shot at some real news. We appreciate you joining us today.
It's hard to lie with a picture showing you the truth.
Ooh, that's right. Can't lie. It was like pictures don't lie. Well, all right.
My motto is I capture your moment for a lifetime of history.
Lifetime of history. Well, that's exactly what we have. So we appreciate you for capturing these moments. A lifetime of history. Continue to do what you do. And as always, we appreciate your sharing your wisdom with our audience. And we look forward to having you back. We have a regular news hour, the on-air daily news every second and fourth Wednesday evening here on the Female Solution. And we'll have you back sometimes to give us some insight on what's happening in the nation and around the world.
And let's thank God for another black woman that makes, I think, it makes it 3 in office now. You got Alsabrook, you got, my Jesus girl out of Delaware. And now you got Juliana. And we have 2 men. Well, I don't know why we don't clown the Republicans. They still black.
Yeah, that's just true. I mean, if we record, because we have the ability to be in whatever party, because it's not about the party, it's about the policies. So what do you stand for? And that's what matters. So we want to hear what you stand for. And if you're standing for us, then we stand with you. So,
well, the problem is this. It's kind of hard to claim people that seem to be so stupid to be included.
Ooh. Well, now we're going to let you all chew on that one.
If we want to claim them, they keep pushing themselves out the door.
Yes, well, there are some standards. We're going to talk about that at an upcoming show for sure, because some people, they don't seem to quite understand what they should be standing for. But then everybody's got a free will. So we respect that as well. We thank you all for watching. Come on back and be with us this evening for Let's Get Uncomfortable with Wendy and Aaron. Attorneys Wendy and Aaron giving you some real uncomfortable conversations we need to have. So until that time, we want you all to continue to shine your light. See you next time. We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke.
Poland, John Couillon. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.